When two people decide that they want to get a divorce, it's because something has gone wrong. Many times it's because they are fighting, there's a lack of trust, there's infidelity of body, sometimes infidelity of mind. There really isn't a lot of intimacy anymore between the parties, and they decide they want to go their separate ways. Now, many times when the marriage has broken down, there's a lot of ill feeling. There's a lot of accusations one way or the other, and it's said that usually because of the children, or sometimes because of the complexity of the issues that need to be sorted out, it's better not to go and wash your dirty linen in public, or rather, yes, in public before a court. Remember that the court is a public place, so you are washing whatever linens you have, no matter how dirty they are. You are washing them before a judge who is cold towards your issues, and who will not be empathetic towards what you are really talking about. So there's this new alternative form of dispute resolution, and it's called mediation. A lot of people now are considering mediation when their marriages have broken down, or they feel to themselves that there is something wrong with them and they need to get out of the marriage as fast as possible. What is mediation? Mediation is a coming together of two parties who are at war with each other, as it were, at war with each other, and who would rather like somebody, a third party, who is neutral as much as possible, to come in and mediate the issues between them so that they can reach some kind of settlement. Now, you do not necessarily need to be in court before you mediate an issue. It's almost like, how in our traditional societies, an elderly person or somebody who's older than the two of you would come and try to mediate. And you find out that because they're not professionals, most times they turn out not to be neutral. They are supporting one person or the other, albeit without intending to. So, what is mediation? Mediation is a professional training that people, not necessarily lawyers, everybody, people go through so that they can mediate between warring parties. So, for instance, let's say there's somebody whose bank has sued them for a debt, and they are disputing the debt. You can mediate on it. If it's an issue of land, you can mediate on it. If it's, as long as it's not a criminal matter, there's nothing that cannot be mediated. But today I'm going to be talking to you about mediation in divorce. My name is Arun Kilmana, and I am a divorce counselor. Many times our relationships get into a bad time, and we want to get divorced. But there's probably infidelity. There's probably a lot of dispute concerning maintenance, concerning money. There's usually disputes about money, about maintenance, further maintenance, about the children. And all these issues need to be brought to the court. But they do not need to be brought to the court as a conflict. And that's where mediation comes in. Mediation is supposed to be voluntary, which means that the two of you must agree to mediate and must come with the attitude that we want to think positively about the issues that concern us, and we want to mediate those issues. So the issues you want to be mediating could include the custody of the children. It could include how much money you are giving to the children. It could include access to the children. It could include how you are going to settle or distribute or share the family property, or the marriage property. There's nothing that cannot be mediated other than the divorce itself. So now, when you decide you want to go to court, you can actually mediate adultery. Even though I've been thinking to myself that would that not result in saying that you are condoning something? But you can mediate your adultery. You can say, yes, I have committed adultery, and I apologize for that, and I do this in consequence of that. I offer this in consequence of that. And actually, I believe, and I do not see why any court should reject that. Now, the purpose is at the end of the mediation, you will have reached some terms of settlement. And when you reach your terms of settlement, then you take it to court and say, yes, we still want to get divorced. we have lived apart for X number of years. My partner is in adultery, and this is what I think they will do. Or I am in adultery, but I want to get out of the marriage, and this is why I've committed an adultery. We have terms of settlement. We have agreed that this is what will happen with the children. This is what will happen with the monies between us. I agreed that I have committed adultery. I have offered a certain amount, because at the end of the day, what the court does is it awards damages anyway for adultery. So you are saying, instead of you court awarding these damages, I offer X amount, and the other party is saying, I accept such amount as the damages for the adultery. Now, once the parties agree on that, and I'm just using adultery as an example, so many things can be mediated. You can mediate the issue of the family property. You can mediate the issue of the family property. You can mediate the issue of the children. You can mediate the issue of the marital offense. You can, and you bring it to the court. Now, a trained mediator is the person who will be able to guide the two of you, and he must not show any preference for either of you, even if he feels it in his heart, because he's a human being at the end of the day. He has been trained to be as neutral as possible. And that's why I say mediation is voluntary, because at any point where you feel that the mediator doesn't seem to be on your side, or when you feel that the mediator is on the other side, you have the right to withdraw from the mediation. And then, of course, you cannot file terms of settlement, and you have to take everything to court to adjudicate. Now, what is the benefit of mediation? Mediation helps you to calm down your nerves. It stops your story from being public. It gives you a sense of reality, because you will find out that when your partner and you agree on terms of settlement, they are more likely to obey that order of court. Because it becomes an order of court, they are more likely to obey that order of court than when it is something that has been fought as an emotional battle in the court, emotional, or if you like, a legal battle in the court. When that has happened, then of course you are saying that to your tent to Israel, we have drawn daggers, and we cannot see eye to eye any longer. But because mediation expects that you will reach a settlement, mediation expects that you will find what is the best interest for you and for your children. It's better for you to go into mediation thinking positive, making up your mind that I do want to resolve this issue. Of course, there are things that you have to go backwards and forwards concerning when you are in mediation. You may not necessarily agree everything on one day, but it's important to know at all times that the purpose of that mediation is for the two of you to find an acceptable middle course, where you can then move forward with your new lives after you have been divorced by the court. Now, let me make it very clear. The court must hear the divorce. The court must make an order dissolving the marriage. It is not, a mediation cannot dissolve your marriage. Only the court has jurisdiction to divorce your marriage. And you know what else? When somebody has been your mediator, even though he's a lawyer, like I am a lawyer, that lawyer or that mediator cannot come back to court to give evidence on behalf of either of you. Indeed, not only can he not give evidence on behalf of either of you, the court cannot ask it its opinion about what happened in mediation. So whatever happens in mediation remains in mediation, and that's what makes it confidential. It is a legal process, and it is a confidential process. So even what you tell me in mediation, and you tell me, don't tell my spouse, maybe like you choose to confess something to me, you choose to say, well, she's only asking for 50,000, but I have 50 million. I can't tell it to her, because I am your mediator. I must be, whatever you repose in me, it must be confidential. In the same way, whatever your spouse reposes in me, it is and remains confidential. So throughout, it is a very confidential process, because the mediator always must be neutral. Now, I've been saying me because I am a certified mediator. I am a High Court certified mediator. The High Court of Lagos State is where I have been certified as a mediator. I work as a mediator. I work as a divorce counselor as well. If I am your divorce counselor, that is different from being a mediator. So do not say that because I have been your mediator, your divorce counselor, I can't be your mediator. They're two different things. But if I have been your mediator, I can't be your divorce lawyer. So whoever is your divorce lawyer, if they have acted or mediated in any way, they're no longer allowed to act for you. That is the way mediation works. If you're enjoying this, of course, why don't you subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button, share this video, and of course I ask you to get in touch with me in case you want to know more about this mediation, because it is a hope that we must all embrace. You need to consider mediation so that the children also come away from it knowing that whatever mommy and daddy discussed about us, it was not done in public. It was done privately for our purpose. So till next time, think positive about it.